Hello everyone. Welcome to this edition of Dishing Out Flavor. Today I'll be making some fried fish. Is when I picked it out from the store in the seafood section, it said red fish. So it's a whole red fish that I'll be frying. I had it cleaned and all of that other good stuff. And then I'll be making a Jamaican pickled vegetable. I'm not really sure how to call out the name for mispronouncing it, so I'll just spell it out in the comments. But I'll just be calling it Jamaican pickled vegetables because they eat it with all types of fish and other things too. So I'm just going to be bringing a little bit of Jamaican flavors to you all today. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, so I have my onions, my sweet peppers, I have a Scotch bonnet pepper, and I have some carrots. I want to say how to pronounce it is Escovitch, but because I'm not Jamaican, I may not be pronouncing that word properly. So if any of you out there know it, then you know. But I want the onions, well, this particular one is just gonna have to be in thin slices because of how I had to cut away some parts of the onion. So all of this has to be julienne or cut fairly thin. Okay, and for the others, I'll just do those around. Now, if you have a mandolin, then of course, use that. Okay, and these are fairly thin as well. I'll come back to the other onion. Slice up some of the peppers. I figure this thin will work for me. And that's fairly thin. So once it's sitting in the dressing. So let me get this all chopped up and julienne the way that I like, and I'll be back. Yeah, just to show you guys what I want to do with the carrot. So this was a whole carrot, and then I actually cut it into 4. So doing that. Still the same. Of course, it's not going to be even right here, but eventually it will even out. This is what I'm going for. Thin, almost like the same length as the onions. Be back in a bit. So I'm on my last little bit of carrot here. So basically what I do is just plant the heel of the cleaver into it and then let it run up. That's how I get my slices. This particular plant, I don't even know if you can call this julienne, but this is what I'm doing. And lastly, my Scotch bonnet. Be enough of that because I don't want to get any of that on my hands. Okay, I'll be back in a bit for the next step. All right, now I'm going to make my dressing pretty much. That's some water. Let me measure out my vinegar. And of course, you guys know that all of the ingredients, the measurements, will be in the comment section below. Oh, I have dropped something. One moment. Okay. Putting in some AllSpice. Here I have 1 cup of Monkfruit allulose sweetener going in, as well as some salt, about 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to stir this around until all of the sweetener and the salt melts. Which will not take long, seeing as how there's more liquid than it is of those crystals from the salt and the sweetener. Okay. Let's bring this to a boil. And once this come up to a boil, then I'll be adding the carrots. Be back in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and add all of the carrots in. Going to add about a quarter of the onions. The rest of the onions are just so thin. And then I wanted to have a little bit of a crunch to it as well. Okay, I'm going to give this about 2 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and get this out. I do anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes, but you go by how tender you want your carrots when you give this recipe a try. This is out. Turn my fire off. And then I have my jar here. And so now I'm just going to layer everything in. Some of the orange peppers, some of the red, and those onions, these are the remainder of the raw onions, of course. Some of the cooked mixture. And we're gonna put in some of the liquid. And then do this all over again. I have no doubt that this will be gone in no time because lately I've been eating nothing but seafood, particularly fish. because for whatever reason, something has happened to my system where, let me put some of the peppers in here. Anyway, like I was saying, something has happened to my system why I haven't been able to eat beef or chicken for that matter. I don't know what's going on with my system. It used to happen when I was younger, in my 30s and 40s. Every now and then, when it got close to my birthday in November, all of a sudden, I wasn't able to eat any type of red meat, where I can only do fish or eggs. Oh, and venison. I could do venison. But this time around, I can do pork as well as seafood and still eggs. Well, that was a big mess. I think that is about all this container is going to take. Clean up my mess. Upside down right there. Now I still have some juice and some onions. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to shred some cabbage. Give me just a bit. Okay, so I cut some cabbage very, very thin by staying real close to the edge and just going downward, pushing against it. And that makes it really sheet thin for me. So it's almost like running it through a shredder without actually having a shredder. See how thin and fine that is? This. Okay. So I'm just going to in here, really pack it in. Some of the onions. Take a few of my carrots and onion mixture, just a little bit from the larger jar. I'll put over in here. Goodness. The rest of the shredded cabbage, I'm not worried about because that's going to end up being coleslaw. Alrighty. I'll be back with the fish. Alright. So I have my red fish here. I've already cut the slits into it. Let's see, is it? Cook that until it's nice and golden. So this is what the fish is looking like. So I have my dry seasoning here that I'm going to sprinkle on there. Because when it comes to just frying raw fish, you can't season on it because the grease will take it all off. Alright, everything is done. Hope you guys can see that. I'll have to take a picture from another angle. So I've paired it here because my husband can't digest cabbage. So I made him a mixture of a cucumber, tomato, lettuce salad with a little bit of ranch, mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. So he'll be able to have that. I have some fried plantains here as well. And then, of course, that's just lemon and a raw piece of red bell pepper that I have there. And then of course, you guys know that I'm going to be eating this with some of this ceviche or escovitch that I made today, or the pickled vegetables. That's a better way to say that. So let me get a little bit of this so I can do a tasting. Okay, I'm gonna make one more thing here from the leftover shredded cabbage. I'm just gonna load this with my Japanese mayonnaise. I'm gonna take a little, just a tiniest little bit of mirin, because that's how I like this. Put a little bit of rice vinegar. Put that on there like that. Sprinkle on some pepper. Forgot my sesame seeds. Okay. Grate on a little fresh ginger here. Just a little bit goes a long way for me. Well, maybe just a little bit more. Okay. Now, my sesame seeds. And then just mix this up slightly. And then I just eat this like this. Sometimes I just eat this as a meal by itself. Okay. So switching that back over. Okay. Get a little bit of the pickled vegetable combo here. Some of those peppers down in there, if I can reach them. Okay, let me get a picture of all of this together. Trying to fit it all in here. So let's get a piece of the fish, makes it crispy. That is good. So the fish is fried nice and crisp. Get a little bit of this salad here. That's good. That goes with that as well. Now the plantains are not low carb. Well, it could be depending on how many of them that you eat. So I'll probably only eat one of these because this is not really a high carb day for me. But the pickled vegetables are amazing. It goes very, very well with the fish and everything else. I should have sprinkled a little bit more seasoning onto the fish. But other than that, everything is delicious. Okay, guys, stay strong, stay positive, stay focused, and as always, be blessed. Thank you for joining me with this edition of Dishing Out Flavor. Take care and goodbye.